Nitakpa. Yeah. Today we are celebrating womanhood. Woman, the heart of our homes. It's significant because now, due to this conflict, we have lost our home. As an IDPs, I'm standing here before you all as a IDPs. Today, I would like to dedicate this International Women's Day celebration to all our women, our Kukizo, resilient women back home, and even here in Delhi, because we have suffered since 3rd May untold miseries. So I dedicate this day especially to them. In the eyes of the world, we are victims. We are considered victims. Why? Because we've been displaced, we've been chased out like, inhumanly from our home. But we and 70,000 or thousands of cookies of women, we do not think we are victims. We think we are survivor because we have survived the pogrom that had been inflicted upon us. So we are not victims, but we are survivor. And being a resilient cookies of woman, we will continue being a survivor. So never look, because when we call ourselves the victims, then we are lowering ourselves. We're thinking that we are nothing, because victims. But we still have hope, because I know how resilient we are, how strong we are here, and then how we fought for this past 3 years. Could have survived this pogrom that has been, inflicted against us for 3 years, right? We have lost more than 30 of our sisters. I have lost my own cousin also, Miss Dongai Ching. She's my own cousin. But in spite of that, we carry on. As an IDP, I've been told to relate my stories, which I have related thousands of times. But today, just to remind our people that on 3rd May, what happened to me and thousands of our people. 3rd May was indeed a very tense day, because as you can see that on 3rd May, there was a rally conducted by ATSUM, All Manipur Tribal Student Union, in 9th district of Manipur. So we got information, and we were very tense because we don't know what was happening. There was a lot of comment from the other community. There were a lot of criticism. So we were very tense. But we thought the rally went off successfully because nothing happened during the rally. But a few hours after that, at around 8 p.m., what happened to us was that in Paitiveng, I belong to Paitiveng, Infal West. There, thousands of people, mob, consisting of men, women, boys, there were no young girls, surged into my colony. They came like a wave, screaming, war cries like, kill the cookies. That was the war cry that they raised that night. They came in, and because we were not aware of what was happening, we were bewildered, we were perplexed, we were scared. So we hid ourselves, we barricade ourselves, and we hid ourselves into and locked the gate. And soon enough, they started pelting stones, small rocks. They started throwing rocks into our home. They shattered the glass window panes. They did not enter a house right away. Then again, we thought, since we don't know what was happening, we were not aware of the real situation. We hid ourselves, and then we started praying. Prayer was the only hope that we have. Because I call up all my friends, all the army friends that I know, all the police officers I know. I have so many friends in this police force also. Was asking them to come and rescue us or to send reinforcement to come and pick us up and guard our colony, Paitiveng, Infal West, in the capital city of Manipur. So anyway, to cut the story short, they came to attack us and to chase us out of a house. This ordeal that we suffered, my family and my people of the colony and the rest of the world, our Kukizo community in Infal, lasted for around 8 hours. From 8 p.m. in the night, and it ended at about 2:30, 3 a.m. in the morning, where we were taken safely to the army camp. We praise God for that. We said we are safe now. Our motley crew consisted of my mother, who was 89 at the time. Now she's 91, living in Delhi. And then my youngest granddaughter, who's just about 1 year. So we were about 24, 5 of us. The rest of them were scattered, like Rosie, who's going to speak next to me. Their family were taken to some, they ran and hid in some other places. So our orders are all different, but then we were safely taken after standing for 1.5 hours on the road and witnessing all the crowd, the mob. They were ransacking our home. They were bursting our cylinders. We watched, and after 1.5 hours, we were taken to the police station in Babupura. And from there, at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., we were taken to the army came to rescue us from there. And then, by then, it was 3 a.m. We had dinner, of course, by 8 o'clock. Everybody had dinner already, but there was no place to sleep. There was no place to eat. The army offered us. And the best thing was that when we ran out of the house, we came out with just the clothes that we were wearing. We were not, because we didn't know that we were supposed to be chased out forever. We were under impression that we will be coming back and staying in a house, and then everything will be fine. Little did we know that till today, for 3 years, we'll not be able to step foot into our own house. You know, we are patta holders. We own those houses. But till now, I cannot go to Infal. I cannot go to my house. I cannot live in my house. I know people are encroaching in my house, staying there. They're running their business. They're not paying rent to us also because the government is not enforcing rent on them. So, excuse me. So all these things happened to us, and to 70,000 houses were destroyed that particular night. Actually, we don't know the exact number. You know, these are just estimated number that 352 churches have burned, 70,000 has been destroyed. Yeah, but my house was partially destroyed. You know, we were the lucky one because just behind the house was Chief Minister Biren Singh's car showroom. He have a car showroom, and his daughter was running a beauty parlor there. So if they burned my house, then obviously it could also destroy his car showroom. So coming back to that, I don't want to go back, because when we talk about the ordeal that we have undergone 3 years back, it still haunts us. It still hurts us. But sometimes we have to talk it out so that other people will be aware of what we have gone through. Now, as an IDPS, from 3rd May, after staying in the army camp for 3-4 days, we came to Delhi on 6 May 2023. Since then, our life have taken a 360 turn. From living a comfortable life in our own home, we are now living in a rented accommodation in an apartment, where my mother or everybody is not used to living in such cramped environment, space. But still, we are adjusting. We get harassed from a landlord because we eat different, we speak different, we eat different, we dress different, and we look different. So wherever we go, in some form or the other, we face harassment from the mainland people. Sorry to say about that, but they are mainland and we are northeasterners. So we do suffer, you know, even in the hand for small things like that. Then we are struggling with the rent. We are paying rent like, for a 2-bedroom flat. If you go to South Delhi, the rents are like 50 to 70,000, which we cannot afford. So we stay in a middle class colony like Mahavir Enclave, where we pay 25 to 30,000 per month. But in spite of that, there is electricity bill, water bill, so many things. And so as an IDP, we're still suffering. We are still, we still suffering that about this thing that's happening. On top of that, we have no access to proper medical care in our homeland in Chuchanpur, in Lamka. So we come here to Delhi for medical treatment. For the past 6 months, especially among the Paite community, there are deaths. Every 2 months, they are dead. because people came to Delhi late, and then they don't get medical treatment on time, so they're dead every now and then. So even the number of dead due to this non-access to medical facilities have increased in this past 2 3 years. So we are running every month, every second day we are attending condolence meeting. We are going to AIMS for embalmment. So like our life is just revolving around that. Now we are socially isolated also because we are as a community we are a group. We do everything in a group back home also. Here we are trying. We have a church. We join them, but then we are always different from the people who lived here earlier than IDPs and the people who has come as an IDP. So life is actually very difficult for us. We also face social isolation. And then the smear campaign started by the Meitei against the cookie zombie community is that uh, it's very hurtful for us. We heard that we've been called illegal immigrants. My family itself, like my parents, they bought a house in 90s. They've been living there for 60 years, more than 60 years in Paiteveng, Infal, West. My grandfather has been living in Lamka. My great grandfathers have been living in. So we are not illegal immigrants. So it really hurts our sentiment when we being called illegal immigrants. Secondly, they said you are a poppy cultivators. Yes, I agree. We do cultivate poppies. There are people, we can't deny it. But not all of us are cultivating. For the first time in my life, I saw poppy only in the photographs. I haven't seen poppy flowers even in real. But when I went to Saikul last time, I have visited, made some like through the Cooking P when I was a member of that. When I went there, I saw hillocks which were all bare. They were no trees or nothing. So I asked my colleague and I said, what happened to this? Why is this hillock very bare? Where are the trees gone? The answer was that, oh, this was used for poppy cultivation. So it was a fact, and we can't deny it. But to to term the whole community as a poppy cultivator is wrong, because we have the Meitei, we have the Nagas, and we have even the Muslim people dealing in with poppy cultivation. So we have been given, and on top of that, there is a very insulting to the woman. They say that Assam Rifle people, the Zomi people, are the comfort woman. We have been termed as a comfort woman, that we are providing comfort to them, which is so insulting. It's an insult to our district, because that we don't do that. We also Christians, so that means we are prostituting ourselves, which is not true. So these kind of things we has actually made us feel very have lower self-esteem, because even though if we don't do it ourselves, but when they term us as a comfort woman for the Assam Rifle woman, you know how it is, how bad it is for us, for our image. So, and then there are so many problems we face as an IDP here. Medical, like my mom, for example, she's 90 years old. Every month we have to go to the hospital for her treatment. And the cost is so exorbitant, because we want to see good doctors. You don't want to go to any government hospital. So, and then with the cost of living so high and medical, we can barely afford this kind of facilities here. So our life actually, before the war, before the conflict in 2023, and after the conflict in 2025 has totally changed, drastically changed, I could say. And the mental trauma that we suffer because of this conflict, because of being treated badly on 23rd of May, is still in our mind. Sometimes when I think about it, I remember how they chased us, how they came to our house and they told us, "Chato, chato," means get out of house. "Noi na yum tha kari, we are going to burn your house." That kind of voice, I keep still hearing it in my mind. So those trauma is still going to be with us. For generation, I think our community is going to suffer this generation trauma and the pain of what we have undergone that day. I do not wish what happened to us on 3rd May 2023, even on my enemy, because I cannot express myself expressively what I felt and how shocked and how numb I was that night. But the trauma is still hurting me till today in 2026. Now today I'm so happy that we are celebrating International Women's Day with so many men around, because without a men participation, there women and men should always participate together. Without working in tandem with each other, nothing will work. So thank you, Mr. Reddy, all the way from London, Vishwajit, Paboy, then of course everybody. I don't have to name them, but everybody, I see these faces every now and then. Whenever we have Cookies or Women meeting, I see the men also showing this support. So please continue showing us support, because without you all, we women cannot do anything on our own. We can do it, of course, but when you support us, it will be more, it is better, it is more enhanced. So we need your support. Today I salute all the women's martyr that we have, all these pictures here behind. I salute them for the bravery. May their soul live in peace. May they live comfortably in heaven, and may their justice be served, because though the Constitution has given us our rights, our justice, without practice, without justice, it is not which is not being enforced, we will never get justice. So let's pray that by next International Women's Day, we will get the justice that we deserve. Thank you very much.